What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lucas Murphy, and today we're really going to dissect the Kansas City Chiefs getting ready to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I've really kind of broken down and dissected some things to really identify as we get ready to head into this matchup. What are we looking at from a quarterback perspective? What are we looking at from a running game perspective? The wide receivers to the tight end, and how that truly matches up against this Kansas City Chiefs defense. So I'm not going to hesitate. We're going to jump right in. And the first person we're really going to look at is Trevor Lawrence. And the reason is because he's obviously their quarterback, but how successful has he been this season? I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars are currently 3-1 on the season, although they've played, kind of a mixed bag of opponents. How has he really performed this year? So we're going to dive in. Lawrence, so far this season, has attempted 144 passes. He does have a completion percentage of 58.3%. Now, mind you, the league average for a quarterback this season in completion percentage is 65.3%. So he is a little bit down when it comes to really completing passes. Now, what factors into that? We'll get into that. He has thrown for 5 touchdowns, but to counter that, he has 4 interceptions. So not only has he thrown some touchdowns, he's made mistakes, he's thrown the ball to the opposing team, and really that's a significant thing to think about as we head into this matchup for sure. Now, 41.5% success rate, which ranks him 28th out of 33 quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, that really is not a good statistic for him. He's not having a lot of success from that standpoint. He does have a passer rating, which is 75.1, ranking him 30 out of 33 total quarterbacks. The league average for this is 92. So again, he's not even hitting the league average when it comes to that passer rating. And some people may not even look at passer rating. They're like, okay, well, what is his QBR? His QBR is 48.8, ranking him 22nd out of 33 quarterbacks. So when you're looking at this team from a whole, their leader that really performs for them on the offensive side of the football from these statistics has struggled. Now, one area Trevor Lawrence does stand out is his sack percentage, which the percentage of times sacked when attempting to pass, which leads all QBs at 2.04. So he is not getting sacked, ladies and gentlemen. And so it's interesting to really look at those initial statistics. He's just not having success, and he's not getting sacked. So is he just not performing? Well, again, we'll continue to dive into this, and I think a lot of this will make sense as we get to the wide receivers as well. Now, Lawrence targets, he's dropped, his targets have dropped 16 passes this year, and you might say, well, Lucas, that's not a significant amount. I mean, that's an 11.6% drop rate, the highest of Trevor Lawrence's career since he was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, granted, this is a small sample size, and granted, this has been, a few games, but for him to have the highest drop percentage from his targets, that speaks to where this Jacksonville Jaguars team is at. Now, Lawrence has roughly 2.2 seconds from the time the ball is snapped to either throw the football or the pocket is collapsing. 2.2 seconds, and that's pretty consistent in his time being with the Jacksonville Jaguars. There really is not a ton of time to make decisions, to determine where you're going to throw the football, to go through your progressions. So it's interesting to kind of think about that. He has been blitzed 22 times. He's had 4 hurries. He's been hit 5 times, 12 pressures, which is at a 7.9% pressure percentage, which is his lowest in his career. Again, a small sample size, but he's not being really forced to make these decisions. It's just mistakes. Could it be mental mistakes? Could it be his targets are running the wrong routes? Or they're just not that great? Granted, they do have Brian Thomas Jr. coming out of LSU. He was an absolute just stud when he was drafted, but he has been struggling lately. Now, this offense really relies on their running back, and that is Travis Etienne. And I really kind of want to break down and provide you Travis Etienne. He does have 65 attempts, ranking him 10th out of qualified running backs when it comes to that category. To make it even more granular, he's averaging 98.5 yards per game. That ranks him 3rd out of qualified running backs. Now, he has rushed for 394 yards, which ranks him third in the NFL, and 2 touchdowns this season. So his rushing yards per attempt come out to 6.1 yards, and that's leading all qualified running backs. He is averaging 98.5 yards per game, again, ranking him third out of qualified running backs. So really what we're getting at with this is the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars really like to run the football. And obviously that statement is true for the fact that they traded off one of their running backs, Tank Bigsby, to the Eagles. So they are really relying on Travis Etienne. They really believe in Travis Etienne. And obviously with Liam Cohen coming over to take over the helm as the head coach, he really believes in Travis Etienne. And then these statistics really provide that insight. So I do anticipate the Jacksonville Jaguars looking to establish the run game early on. Now the question is will the Kansas City Chiefs, who are pretty dominant at run defense, which we'll talk about, could that really hinder this Jacksonville offense having any form of success? And if so, are they going to then force Trevor Lawrence to have to pass the football? And from those statistics that we provided from that perspective, it could be a rough day for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So now we're going to really kind of break down these wide receivers and tight ends. Now, Brian Thomas, again, leads the wide receiver core, and that's followed by recently drafted Colorado Buffalo and Travis Hunter. They have Dyami Brown, and their leading pass catcher actually isn't even a wide receiver. It's their tight end in Brenton Strange. Now this group listed that I just talked about has 54 receptions, but I want to highlight again their catching percentage, which is something really to identify. Brenton Strange, obviously again their leading pass catcher, catches the football 82.6% of the time. That's significant. I mean, he's catching the ball at a good rate. But their core wide receivers have a glaring percentage. Now, obviously, this first one isn't terrible, and Dyami Brown, who has 71.4%, but Travis Hunter, who obviously was drafted to play both sides, really it sounded like coming out of training camp, they wanted to focus him playing wide receiver versus the cornerback position. Travis Hunter has a 61.9% catch percentage. And then to really highlight this, their number one wide receiver, Brian Thomas, has an abysmal 37.5% catch percentage. Ladies and gentlemen, there were a few times where they've questioned, Brian Thomas's want, his drive, his focus. I mean, a 37.5% catch percentage is abysmal, ladies and gentlemen. So for the fact that their number one target just can't figure out how to catch the football, going against a Kansas City Chiefs secondary who has continuously progressed in a good way, again, it's going to be a tough challenge for this Jacksonville offense to really perform, in my opinion, against a up-and-coming, successful Kansas City Chiefs defense. Now we're going to really talk about that defense. We're going to talk about how they can really kind of strangle or cut off the success of the offense of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs have given up a total of 1,251 yards of offense. That ranks them 19th in the NFL. And so it's really like middle tier, middle of the pack when it comes to yards given up. They average 5.3 yards per offensive play. That's ranking them 17th in the NFL. So again, middle tier, really kind of putting them smack dab in the middle when it comes to these statistics. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs defense have allowed 103 rushing attempts, surrendering 508 yards total. And the reason why we're highlighting that is obviously because the Jacksonville Jaguars will look to establish that run game. So that comes out to an average of 4.9 yards per attempt, which ranks them 6th overall in the NFL. Again, I'm going to repeat that statistic. They have averaged 4.9 yards per attempt, ranking them 6th in the overall NFL. Now think about it. Who have they faced so far? Again, small sample size, but this small sample size, they've faced some pretty decent running backs and really kind of had some successful running backs that have come either to Arrowhead or they have gone on the road. Some of those are Omarion Hampton paired with Najee Harris before Najee Harris obviously ruptured his Achilles. They faced a very talented Cam Skattebo. They faced probably the best running back outside of Derrick Henry in Saquon Barkley, and they faced Derrick Henry so far this year. Again, They are only allowing an average of 4.9 yards per attempt, which ranks them 6th overall in the NFL. Now they're facing a Travis Etienne, who has had a lot of success running the football. So this is going to be something I'm going to highlight and really focus in this matchup. I truly believe the Kansas City Chiefs defense is very stout in the run game, and they've proven that so far this year, and really I would say last year. Now the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, they are looking to blitz. That was one of the most significant things that allowed them to really dominate the game against the Baltimore Ravens, is the fact that they blitzed the Lamar Jackson. They continuously were providing different views, different looks, and they were coming off the edge, and they really did well with the QB spy and really containing Lamar Jackson. And then obviously they shut down Derrick Henry. So they have blitzed opposing offenses 47 times at a percentage of 32.6. They have recorded 10 sacks on the season and have a recorded 11.6% QB knockdown percentage. And they have pressured opposing quarterbacks 28 times, which comes out to 19.4% rate. Now the Chiefs secondary does have 3 interceptions, and that is something that I'm really kind of looking to see how this Chiefs secondary can manage Trevor Lawrence in this wide receiver group, paired with obviously their tight end and Brenton Strange. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I really think that the Kansas City Chiefs have the upper hand from just a defensive perspective, and that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video, because I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think the Kansas City Chiefs offense is going to start to build upon their success that they had against the Baltimore Ravens. They obviously get Xavier Worthy back. We saw what Xavier Worthy was able to do and really open this offense. It allowed guys to go back to what they are expected to do, their roles that they were intended to have, like a guy like Tyquan Thornton, like a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster. They're able to kind of slot back into the positions that they were anticipated to do, and that allows for Xavier Worthy to be Xavier Worthy. Now, one of the things I'm going to kind of look to see too is how this Kansas City Chiefs offense runs the football. And again, it's going to be something we probably talk about this entire season. And the reason is because the Kansas City Chiefs need to start to establish the run game. You can't always depend on Xavier Worthy to do end arounds. You can't always depend on those types of plays. You're going to have to at some point really start running the football. So it'll be interesting to see how Brashard Smith is integrated into this offense with his dual ability, catching the football and also running the football. How is Isaiah Pacheco going to be able to be utilized in this game? Those are things that we're really going to have to focus on, especially as this Chiefs offense looks to continue to build upon their success as they really kind of go through a gauntlet of a schedule. I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Let me know down in the comment section, who do you got winning this football game? Kansas City Chiefs appear to have the upper hand from just those statistics that I provided. But let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. I appreciate you checking out this video. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I end every video the exact same way. Have a good day.